So here's a quick look through with my homeschool planner agenda. This is my homeschool planner agenda. You probably noticed this here, and this here is where I keep our homeschool foundation. You know, why we're homeschooling, what curriculum we're using, all things planning for homeschool. This here is my planner agenda that I use on a weekly basis. The first thing I like to do is keep on the first pocket here is my quick days. When we're having a quick day or we don't feel like homeschooling, here are the things that we will do during that day. My son will still get up, do his grooming, his tidying up, and then we'll do our devotional, we'll do current events. He still has to read that night. He'll do some Beast Academy, interest-led learning. Okay. And then if I decide to teach that day, our teaching will consist of a quick Bible study review, memory work review, foreign language review, quick math review, and any corrections that I need to go over with him. So if we, again, don't feel like homeschooling, it's a lazy day, it's a blah, blah day, or we're on the go, if I say, okay, it's going to be just an independent day for you, then he does this block of stuff. If I say, okay, it's going to be an instructional day for you and we need to do it really quick, then I will do this block of stuff, okay? I also keep with me some quick reminders. You know, I remind myself how to remind him how to properly take notes. I put here also a reminder for before I begin teaching anything, before any learning begins, or before I bring anything into our home for the purpose of homeschooling and learning, I ask myself these types of questions. And when I ask myself these types of questions, it just helps me ensure that I'm not bringing in stuff within our home because someone else is doing it or it's a fad. It is truly a value and it brings purpose to what we're doing based on the reason why we're homeschooling. This gives me a reminder of what deschooling is all about, which we do in the month of June. And this just reminds me of things I need to do the first and last day of homeschooling. And here are some things under the concept of project management, work management, organization that I want to remind myself to do and to incorporate in our homeschool. Okay. I also keep a pouch, and this pouch here just has our stickers. So any markers, my Expo markers, I have a lot of Expo markers, but these are the ones that I use for my agenda. So if I take my agenda planner and I need to be on the go, I have what I need here, stickers, and it's a mini eraser in there. I also keep a reminder of what our morning time is all about. So, you know, when we meet for an hour, sometimes morning time can take 2 hours, just depends on how involved we are and what's taking place. This is just a reminder. The corrective reading, we're done with that. We focused on that the first semester. He has improved his reading skills in terms of fluency, pronunciation, articulation, flow, speed. This is just, we don't even do this anymore, okay? This here just reminds me when we're having reading comprehension or if we're doing read alouds, this just gives me some things to recall in terms of having big, juicy conversations. I'm not asking him questions like, who are the characters? What is the story about? No, I want to ask very specific types of questions. So this is just a list of things that I don't want to forget. Within the planner agenda, I do keep a copy, which was on the previous page here, of the independent school district's calendar, just to make sure that when I am planning for his off days or random days off or vacations or whatever, that I kind of tie it to whatever the school district is doing so that he can attend camps with his friends. This is just a what is it called? A calendar for first semester. This is our calendar for the second semester. These things here are just dividers. They're mini dividers. I didn't have any large ones or longer ones, and I wasn't going to go purchase them. So as you can see, they're just little tabs that I can go to that tells me where I am in the process or what I'm looking at. This is just a page divider. I just printed it in color, laminated it, and again, I use it as a divider page. And this is the back of it here. This here is just a list of items. I like to keep a buy list of all our future curriculum that I'm thinking about purchasing for the following school year. So as of right now, I'm in the planning and budgeting stage, but with doing that, I kind of know what I want to purchase for the next school year. So this here just tells me, what I would like to purchase, the cost at the time of writing this, what the costs were for both my son who's going to 6th grade and my toddler who will be doing pre-K 3 within our home, preschool at school, tot schooling, you can call it any of those names. But if I see these things on eBay or Amazon or at a homeschool convention or a sale or a bookstore or whatever, I can kind of look at this document and say, oh, that thing's on sale for $200, but originally it was $300. Let me go ahead and buy that. I also keep a list of all of our supplies. I created this list in the beginning of the school year, and it just tells me all the supplies that I needed for the 2018-2019 school year. And I keep track of all the things that I actually purchased, the things that are circled I did not purchase yet. And if I need it, I'll go ahead and do it. If I don't, then hey. And also, if I'm running low on anything, then I can kind of go here and see what I need to buy. And here's just the back of that list here. And just to mention, I did split the columns by what my son would need, what my toddler would need, and what I would need in terms of general office or homeschool supplies. And this is just another divider page that I printed in color and just laminated it. And this pocket here is for any paperwork that I would need that relates to any of the things that we just talked about in the prior sections of this agenda planner. I do have a video already about what this is, which is my daughter's lesson plan. You can look at that video. I'll link it in the description box below, where I went into detail with what these things are here. This page here just gives me a reminder of all the curriculum that we decided on. So I put the subject here, I put the curriculum that we are actually using, whether it's primary or supplemental, and then I put why I chose it. And this is just a reminder. So when I'm asking myself, why did I choose this curriculum? This kind of tells me why I chose it, whether it's teacher intensive, or whether it can be used for self-led learning or whatever. This is my goal sheet for my son, and it just, everything in his memory folder that he's required to learn this year, I just check off, as he's learning it, what he has accomplished. And this here is all of the outcome-based goals that I created for him this year. I do have a video on that. I'll link it in the description box below. This just keeps me on track as to whether or not he has mastered them. And I looked at this and started checking it off, I want to say last month, but I decided to just wait to the end of the school year to do that. A lot of these things he has mastered, but again, I'll do this at the end. This is just our book list, and I've checked off all the books that we have read thus far in terms of the read aloud column and the required reading column. This is a divider page that I created. All I did was take some leaves from outside and put it in some lamination paper and laminate it, and then created a divider page. I thought it was kind of cute and different. The next area here just goes into detail on my year at a glance. I did do a video on how I do our planning for the year. I will link that playlist to the description box below so you can kind of see how I plan for my entire year. This folder here is where I just keep all my paperwork, anything that's graded that I want to keep. Not graded, but anything that has been checked and I want to keep. So this is our packet for our science project, how we do middle school science here within our homeschool. We're very big on math and science and STEM-based learning. So this here just goes into detail about our projects. I will link the video below that talks about what this is here. And I just keep his science things, I keep his handwriting progress, and I keep his math drills in here. And anything else I decide to keep, I'll keep in here too. I keep this page in my planner, which reminds me of, my rubric for writing or what I expect in his writing. This section here just talks about the different sentence patterns because we do use the Cherline method for grammar within our home as our main curriculum. So this just shows the sentence pattern so I don't forget. And this here just gives me a reminder. So when I'm checking, his written work, specifically any writing assignments, I just, go through this just to make sure he hit all the areas. We don't use this for every single writing assignment. This just gives me a reminder of some things to look at or to pay attention to in his writing. I do have a video, which I will link in the description box below, that goes over the next section, which is how I plan every single week. So although I plan on a yearly basis, I still like to go in every week and look at what I planned and where we actually are. And then the next section here just helps me be more realistic in terms of planning for where we currently are. And I reconcile those two files or those two documents ever so often. So this here is just things that I carry with me every month. So every month as I'm going through my agenda planner, this set of information is what is in my this set of information is what I place in front of each month. So right now, if it's January, this will be in front of January. Once I hit the month of February, then this packet of information will be in front of the month of February. When I hit the month of March, then this packet here will be in front of the month of March. And it includes, our schedule for the second semester. It includes this laminated sheet that I created. It includes my learning goals, which is basically my to-do list, what my strengths are, what I need to improve, what I want to focus on, what goals I want to incorporate in terms of learning. Within our homeschool, this is all about me. If I need to print something, laminate something, I use this as a reminder as well. And I also use these boxes to do some of that. This here is where I keep track of all his projects cumulatively throughout the year. And what you'll see in his agenda planner, which I'll link in the description box below, which goes into detail about, his agenda, what he keeps track of. He keeps track of his projects on a monthly basis using these sheets every month. And I just keep this for a cumulative basis to track that information. This is just a pocket where I put paperwork that I need to give him or paperwork that I need for myself. Every month starts off with a month at a glance. It has the child's learning goals, what I expect him to learn and do. It includes my weekly plan, which I reconcile against my yearly planning document. And then I have me tracking his hours. So every month, we do the same thing every month. The month at a glance, the goals, the lesson plan for the week, and the lesson plan for the month. Okay. At the end of my agenda planner, I have how we track his progress. We don't have a report card. I don't give grades. We do lots of reviews in our homeschool, but I still track his progress through a progress report. And this here is the back of that progress sheet. We actually completed every semester. So there's 4 semesters in a year. Every semester will have, where he is. So here are all our performance measures. Our performance measures are only these subjects here, and everything else, we give him an assessment on it, but it does not calculate into his cumulative average. Okay, so on top of this block here is where I have his cumulative average, and within the boxes, let me show you. So within these boxes here is where I would put his average for each of those subjects. Let me show you how we get those averages. Every single week during our meeting, which is on Sundays, where we talk about, our successes, areas of opportunity, we calculate the hours that we tracked for each course. We look over our assignments. I give him the assignments for the week. We write it down in his agenda. We go through his agenda. We talk about anything he wants to talk about. So during those meetings, before we even start talking about those things, we assess the prior week. So every month has a sheet like this, and then we'll assess the prior week. Here are the questions that he has to answer. So it's a self-assessment that he's doing. So for math, as an example, for question 1, which is here, does he think he has a yes or no? And we'll talk about it. And then this is how we assess it here. At the end of the month, in order to get an excellent, exceed expectations, achieve expectations, need improvement. These are the things that he has to do. And if this is blurry, I'm sorry. And this is the back of the paper here. I also like to do a self-assessment of myself to see the progress. Well, not of myself, but a self-assessment of our homeschool progress to see where we are. So this is just something I created on Excel, and I pulled out a graph. But basically, I put in, which is really blurry, first writing assignment, when I assigned him his science project, the second report for progress, the last day of homeschool. So this is everything that happened in 2018, and this is what the progress looked like for 2018. And I'll do it again for 2019, and then I'll do one that combines 2018 and 2019 together. You don't have to do this, guys. I'm very visual. I'm very detailed. So a lot of this stuff that I'm showing you is not necessary at all, especially in the state of Texas where we don't even have to turn any of this in. But I'm a project manager by profession and by heart and by education. And this is something, well, not only by education. I went to school for finance, and then I dived into project management. So yeah, but I like this type of stuff. You may not, don't do it if you're not into it. And the last page of my planner agenda will just give me a summary of what happened throughout the year. How many books did we read? How many were independent? How many were read-alouds? The attendance. What was our total attendance for the year? How many were instructional? How many were independent? Course hours. How many hours did we spend in homeschool this year? And for each subject, how many hours did we spend? And that goes with the tracking of the hours. That'll fill this in for me. My student progress report. When I add all 4 semesters, what is his overall rating? First semester, what was his overall rating for first semester? How about quarter 1, quarter 2? Second semester overall rating, quarter 1, quarter 2. And that goes back to those progress reports that I was talking about. Again, we don't do grades for the purpose of tracking because I don't have to in the state of Texas. And we will start that though in the 7th grade when he starts taking high school courses. However, I still wanted to track progress. As a homeschool parent, me personally, if you're working with your child and you're grading their work daily or every other day, you know their progress. You're sitting there with them. You know what they know. You know what they don't know. Just because they take a test on something or a quiz on something doesn't mean they necessarily know and understand the information. So me being there for him and being there with him, I know if he knows something or not. I don't need a score to tell me. However, this stuff here, or the progress report I showed you that we do on a weekly basis, tells me all of the qualitative aspects of what's taking place in our homeschool. Quantitative aspects would be like your scores, your grades, A, B, C, 90, 60, 40%, whatever it is. But I was looking for qualitative standards. Let me show you one more time. Here's a blank version. So qualitative standards, for each of these subjects: math, English language arts, science, electives 1, which is our social studies, history, geography, writing, our enrichment, independent work, assigned projects, self-led learning. He's asking himself the following questions. Did I complete all my required assignments? Were all the assignments turned in by the due date? Did I complete the assignments, or did those assignments represent my best work? He's answering yes or no. Qualitatively, how are we doing in homeschool? All the quantitative stuff, GPAs, scores, letters, that'll come in the 7th grade when he's taking things for high school credit. Okay? And then here are the behavior-based evaluations. Did I participate? Was I on time this week? Was my work organized? Did I maintain a neat and organized space? Did I keep track of my work and due dates? Was I prepared for homeschool? Did I have my study session this week? He's doing a self-evaluation on all those things, okay? And here is the rubric that helps us determine the progress that he's doing. Excellent, exceed expectations, achieve, does he need improvement? And let me read excellent, for example. Excellent, between 0 and 10 instances of no's per quarter. However, no more than 3 can be in any one category going across. So here's our total no's. So for all the performance measures, which are all of our subjects, he's going to calculate how many no's he circled for that week. Okay? And then at the end of the month, we're going to say, how many no's did you have? And then also within the same category, so within, for example, within English language arts or science or whatever, within this row, you can't have 3 or more no's at during 1 month. And those are all calculated each semester. And then that's how he knows on his progress report each semester that he gets whether or not he's at excellent, achieved, exceed, or needs improvement. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, I'm just very detailed oriented. That's just how I like to do things. You do not have to assess your homeschool like this. Do what is currently working for you. I'm just showing you this stuff just to give you some ideas as to what I'm doing. And if you find value or benefit of it, great. Tailor it to your liking. And that's it, guys. That is my mommy, teacher, facilitator, homeschool planner agenda. Pretty thick. Everything here is useful, and what I will do is at the end of the year, all those summary sheets that I showed you, the progress reports that that one progress report that we do on a semesterly basis, that review sheet or that cumulative sheet that shows you, what our homeschool looked like for the entire year. This sheet here, maybe those goal sheets that I showed you within my son's planner, which says here are all the goals we had for him for various things, and the things I checked off to see if he did meet those things. Maybe a sample of any projects that he really liked, a copy of his science project, our attendance record, calendar, those types of things, the tracking of hours. I will take information from my binder and information from his binder, and then we will create a spiral bound end product that shows and tells the story and shows the picture of what our homeschool looked like for that year. It's like a little portfolio. Again, I don't have to turn it in to anyone. Texas is very lenient on homeschooling. It's just for me, for my memories, so I can kind of see what we did in the 5th grade and what everything looked like, so that I have something to compare to from year to year to year. Okay. And, once he starts in the 7th grade and we start tracking work that counts for high school credit, things will be a little bit different. I'll start tracking grades and scores and things of that nature, but we'll do that later on when we get closer to the 7th grade. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comment box below. Don't forget to check out the description box for some video links that I'll leave for you to kind of look at if you have not already viewed them. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video all the way through. I really appreciate every single one of you. I read all of your comments, and I just want to leave you with one bit of motivation. When things get hard, keep pushing through. Enjoy every moment of your homeschool, regardless of if it's tough today or if it's really hard or you're really tired. Push through. And if you have to say, I'm done for the day or we're done for the week, be okay with doing just that. Family first, children first, school, work, projects, and things can wait. It can be placed second. We are homeschooling because we want to continue building the relationship with our children and giving them a tailored learning experience and education. Don't forget to fill your cup. You can't give of yourself if you're not full, right? So take care of yourself. It's okay to put yourself first. It is quite okay to do just that, guys. And just keep homeschooling on, regardless. Keep homeschooling on. Love on your children. Give yourself and your kiddos grace. Kiss them, hug them, play with them, and enjoy every single moment. And remember, you don't have to change your homeschooling methods and tools and curriculum because you see somebody else doing something different. You are unique in your own way. The things that you're doing is great for your children. What works for me won't work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. It's okay. We're just here to share, collaborate, give tips and ideas, but don't be tied to any one specific way of doing things. And if you are tied to a specific way of doing something because it's working out for you, don't change it. Just keep homeschooling on. All right, let me get out. Y'all have a good one. And as always, until I see you in another video, make it a great, 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 blessed day. Bye.